Welcome back, everyone, to another week. Eh, We're closing in towards the end, and there's no college to speak of. Of There's no Canadian Football League. There is no Major League Baseball. No Major League Soccer. We do have FIFA, but with those not being in the realm, let's start with the NHL. Currently leading in their respective divisions is what we're going to look at. And next week will be the monthly standings and so the final oh, oh, video for 2022. Ooh, but let's focus on this. Is leading the Eastern Metropolitan Division are the Carolina Hurricanes, believe it or not. They're followed by New Jersey, Pittsburgh, er, and the Atlantic. Boston currently leads it, with Toronto and Tampa Bay being the usual full suspects. Over the Western Conference, the Central Division is led by Dallas, Winnipeg, and Minnesota, the unlikely bunch. And in the Pacific, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, and Seattle. Going over to the NBA, also doing the same thing here. Mainly who's leading the division right now. Boston currently leads the Atlantic Division at 22-9. Milwaukee leads the Central at 22-8. The Atlanta Hawks lead at 16-15 for the Southeast, which is a crapshoot, pretty much. Northwest led by Denver with a 19-11 record. Phoenix leads the Pacific at 19-13. Memphis leads the Southwest by a record of 19-11. Now we go into the playoff scenarios for Week 16 of the NFL season, followed by the predictions. Eagles are just one win away from the NFC East division title. They can clinch it as soon as week 16. And the Giants can still clinch a playoff berth in three different scenarios that you can see here, or all of which involve them winning and either Washington or Detroit losing. Those last two also feature the Seahawks losing. Buffalo can clinch the AFC East with a win or Miami loss. The Bengals can get into the playoffs with a win or Jets loss. I am not reading all these scenarios because most of them revolve around either a Ravens win or tie. Plus, all these teams here, Chargers have to win their game and also hope the Raiders lose, the Jets lose, the Patriots lose. Sometimes the Dolphins may have a say. Now, we're only going to look at the playoff eliminations. A loss and a Tampa Bay win gets the Falcons and the Saints out. A loss in Washington win gets Green Bay knocked out. Out. A simple loss or a Titans win or a Jags win knocks out the Colts from the playoffs. Jets loss, Chargers win, Miami win, and New England win, and either a Baltimore win or Cleveland loss. Oh, this what's going to knock the Jets out. A simple loss eliminates the Steelers. A simple loss eliminates the Browns. A loss, Chargers win. Then Dolphins and Jets, Patriots, or big combination and can eliminate the Raiders. So we're gonna take a look at Week 16. Everybody is playing in this week, and I actually get a break on terms of my television for once, as the Jaguars play Thursday night. against the New York Jets. As this is about playoffs falls on the line, apparently. But there's one thing that's going to prevent the Jaguars from actually winning. For one, this is MetLife Stadium, one of the worst stadiums in the league. Even though the Jets are falling apart right now, I think they have what it takes to edge this one out. And now we get to all of our Saturday games due to the holidays. There is a holiday that ends up on Sunday that the NFL doesn't play all the games on. So there are still some games on Sunday though, but we're gonna start with Saints versus Browns on Saturday. The Saints are nowheres in contention, and despite playing in the NFC South, Browns can still play spoiler. So I'm gonna take the Browns. Browns they should be getting better at this point of the season, and followed up by Bengals versus Patriots. I'm gonna take the Bengals. This is the well, the Patriots are starting to show their why Matt Patricia and Joe Judge should not be coordinators in their respective spots now. Now Bengals just look better. Then we have the Bills versus the Bears. There's obviously Bears have nothing else to play for except for draft picks and stuff. Bills are fighting for a division to win for the third straight year. They're going to win it, and they are going to secure a top three seed for sure. Giants versus Vikings. The Giants are starting to fall apart. The Vikings team just still surprise people in terms of how they lose, but I don't think that'll happen against the Giants. And that's what's going to give a win for the Vikings. Mm. Lions versus Panthers. Both teams still have playoffs on the line. As crazy as it sounds. Now, the main question for Carolina right now is how's the quarterback position still? So, but it seems like Steve Wilkes is doing a pretty solid job of keeping the team competitive. If if I think the Lions are ultimately going to be the team that pulls this one out simply due to the fact that they're going to end up being the better coach. Seahawks versus Chiefs. The Seahawks are finally starting to show just how vulnerable they are, and this is one of those games where they're gonna end up losing because Kansas City has a better team all around. Next up is Texans versus Titans. I do not see the Titans losing to a tanking Texans squad. They're gonna maintain hold of their division for a little bit longer and try to keep the division out of the hands of the Jaguars. Next is Falcons versus Ravens. And oh boy, the Ravens really need to win this game badly if they want to get in. And they're not in control of the division anymore. Or so they need help badly. This is one of those games they need to win in order to stay in the hunt, and I think the Ravens are going to win against the Falcons. Next, as going into the two late games on Saturday, is going to be E- Washington versus San Fran. Yeah, there's no contest here. The 49ers are going to win this game. It's no contest. Really no contest. And then Eagles versus Cowboys. It's actually going to be hard to say for sure or who's how this is going to go because that Prescott is back. Cowboys are playing something. It's in Dallas. There's questions on who's going to be starting at quarterback for the Eagles. But this does have division implementations on the line. And so I don't think it'll be a blowout win for either side. I think it'll be close and competitive. Both teams are already in the playoffs. All this is to, to do is see who can clinch the division first. Not to mention, Eagles could also possibly clinch first round bye and home field advantage from a simple win. So much is riding on this. Eagles just need one more win in order to fully take the division. They're probably eyeing another opponent later on that they can get a win over. So if they're gonna go, I'm gonna mark this as my tie of the week simply because of the question marks. A lot of what happens is going to depend on how both sides play. The Cowboys East manage to win, they can be one step closer for the division. But if the Eagles are the main question mark here. If they decide to eye a different opponent to win the division against, and they'll they'll just let this game in a loss and afford the loss. But if they want to go ahead and get it as soon as possible so they can start resting their starters first, they'll probably have a bigger chance of winning. But the fact that this one is too tough to call is why I'm calling this my tie of the week. The Saturday Night Football on NFL Network. Raiders versus Steelers. I don't care that the Steelers are favorites to win. We all know what's going to happen here because the Raiders have been it's been a kryptonite of the Steelers. I've been meaning to say it's going to continue here despite this being Josh McDaniels because Matt Canada can't run an offense apparently. This has always been the Steelers' tradition. Losing record for the Steelers. They are out of the playoff hunt, and that's gonna be who I think will win. It will be the Raiders. Now for our three Sunday games. First up is Packers versus Dolphins. And in the early stretch. Hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Dolphins since it's in Miami. So there's going to be the sun in their favor, even with the bad wind. This ain't Lambo. Oh, guys, that's just rules. Next is Broncos versus Rams. Rams in the late stretch, which is also going to end up on Nickelodeon for some reason, because they want to watch a Christmas charity tank bowl. Yes, this is all it is. Loser just gives a different team a better draft pick. The Rams will be giving the Lions a better draft pick. Broncos will be giving the Seahawks a better draft pick. Wouldn't you know it? Things are just not looking right. And that's why the Rams are going to win this game at home. Buccaneers versus Cardinals. Yep, this is pretty much a free win for Brady. Kyler Murray is done at this point, so why not? Chargers versus Colts on Monday Night Football to wrap up the week. This is where I'm going to say the Chargers are going to win, simply based off the fact that the Colts can't do anything at this point. There's just nothing they can do to salvage their season. Just move on to the next season, and it'll be time to advance and towards the future. So now, the latest FIFA news is that Argentina are officially the World Cup champions. They played this past Sunday. They and finished by winning in penalty kicks, 4-2. Really, nothing else to it. It it was it's gonna go down as one of the greatest games of all time, no doubt about it. This is just for those who missed it. Sure, some did, but this just comes to show that anything is possible, and Messi can finally safely say that he's become um the champion in the World Cup. That's a feel good moment for him. So thank you all so much for tuning in. And like I said, next week will be the final video for 2022. As I do plan on getting around to do my election recap it and also another one of these standings and predictions at the end. And hopefully my ankle will recover to where I could go back to doing this on Mondays, days or maybe Tuesdays. Days we'll just have to wait and see. Keep just make sure if you try to ice skate that you know what to do and how to balance. Or else you're not gonna be able to last for long and you'll end up with what I ended up with, or maybe worse. Anyways, thank you all so much for tuning in. I'll see you in the next video.